So I was looking at my cinnamon roll recipe and I was like, I should make this again. But at the same time, I haven't really been craving sweets that much, but I have been craving like ham and cheese sandwiches. And I thought to myself, why not take this time to make a ham and cheese swirl? And that's what we're gonna do. So buckle up, get your food processor out, and let's get started. All right, to begin, we'll need 5 ounces of pork rinds straight into the food processor. And if they don't all fit, just get some in there, put your lid on, and blitz it, just to make some room. Now that you have pork rind flakes all over the place, you'll want to go ahead and add in some baking powder, and you'll need about 1.5 teaspoons. And then we'll need 5 eggs, about 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and then finally about 1/4 teaspoon of some sort of herb. This is thyme. You can use rosemary to be good in this. Dill would probably be good as well. Plenty of salt in the pork rinds. I'm not worried about it. Plus there will be salt in the ham and the cheese. So get this on, pulse it a couple times. Then we're gonna let it go until it's smooth. The longer you let this go, the more smooth it will be. However, you will start creating heat after about a minute of doing this. So just keep an eye on it. Maybe a minute's enough. We'll find out, and then I'll let you know right now. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that a minute was enough. However, if yours is looking really thick like mine is, go ahead and add just a little bit of water to it, which I'm gonna go with about 1/4 cup. You may wanna add more, you may wanna add less. This is just gonna be you cooking at this point, and just combine it. All right, we can go and get this out of the food processor and onto a silicone mat lined baking sheet. You can also use parchment if you want to. I just use this because I know it's not gonna stick. So just get all of this onto the mat. And then you can use, whatever you want to flatten this. Just try to get this as flat as possible. I'm gonna use wet hands to do this because it will stick to your hands if they're not wet. And I'm just looking to get a big rectangle. So if you do have parchment paper and you have another sheet pan, I think a good way to do this part would be just kind of like put it in the middle, put the parchment on top, put the other pan on top to kind of spread it. I think this is about gonna do it. I've got this at like, I don't know, about 1/8 of an inch thick. You don't have to be perfect with it. Just make sure it's even. That's the big thing. So I've got my oven set to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm gonna throw that in there for about 7 to 8 minutes or until it's just barely set, because we're gonna be cooking this again. Like the middle is still kind of cooking and it should be very pliable. This is what we're going for. We don't want this to crack whenever we go to roll it later. But while it's still hot, we can actually go ahead and start shredding on some pepper jack cheese, or really any cheese of your choice, evenly coated across the entirety of this pork skin blanket. All right, that's pretty good. I used about 4 ounces of that pepper jack. If you want to use slices, feel free. I'm not stopping you. And then what we're going to do is take some Black Forest ham and just layer that across the entire thing. All right, this should be what you're left with. And to be honest, this shouldn't be too hot, but if it is too hot, feel free to take this mat off the pan. But for me, it's feeling all right. So all we got to do now is gently pick this up and begin to roll it. You want to roll the long side all the way down. And I'm going to leave this seam side down just so that it will just kind of be pliable to itself. And hopefully it'll stick together with the cheese. That's what I'm looking for mostly. And we're gonna leave this just like this for just a couple minutes. Go ahead and cover it up, let it steam within itself, and we will come right back after a few minutes. And this is already looking like it could be something weird. Looks like a big old, yeah, I'm not gonna go there. So at this point, we're gonna start slicing. I do know that on these, whenever I've made them before, they're gonna have like really weird floppy ends. So what I like to do is just cut those right off. And those could be little snacks for yourself for later. But everything else should be more substantial through the entire thing. In fact, it should look like a giant sub, honestly. And all we got to do now is cut these into even pieces. I'm going to be using this pie pan to put these in to make my cinnamon roll looking theme go on. So all I'm going to do is cut this in the middle, bring that together, have 2 even pieces. And I'm going to try to get 4 out of this. So I'm going to cut in the middle again, middle, and middle. So I got 8 pieces to put into my pie pan, which should be rather simple. All you gotta do is take a roll, put it down. Take a roll. Actually, I'm gonna put it seam side out. And if your pan's too small like mine, you can always just press it together a little tighter. I'm gonna take a touch more of my cheese and shred it over the top so I can get it nice and melty. This is what we got so far. I'm gonna throw this back into the oven, same temperature, 350 for, like 5 to 6 minutes. While those were in the oven, I went ahead and made a quick sauce for it. Threw in 8 ounces of sour cream, as much mustard as I had, which is gonna be about, I don't know, 2 teaspoons worth. And then I'm gonna hit that up with a little spicy ranch from Carnivore Companion. About a teaspoon of that. And finally, a little bit extra black pepper, about a 1/4 teaspoon worth. And it's good to go. And honestly, we don't really have to wait for this to cool down. I think these are good to go already. Let's go ahead and get these plated up and taste them. I want to break one apart, see how it's looking. Oh yeah. Give it a dip. Okay, if you're looking for a good hot ham and cheese vibe, this is the way to do it. It's got that bready texture, but, you know, it's pork rinds and eggs, so it's just protein and collagen. The ham and the cheese come through nicely. That's just a solid combo in my opinion. Some other combinations I can think of immediately would be roast beef and cheddar, turkey, bacon, and Swiss, chicken. I don't know. Anything would be great on this. This is a fun way for me to, like, take a recipe I've already done and then make something fun out of it. And I hope you enjoy it too. I'm gonna go enjoy my lunch. I'll see you all in the next one. Hey, so you made it to the end of the video. Just want to say thank you so much for watching, and if you're interested in supporting the channel, the best way to do so is going to CarnivoreCompanion.com. You can use the code CarnivorousChef to save 15% off at checkout, and if you sign up for our email list, you'll be the first one to know about new deals and offers. But that's about it for me. See you all in the next one.